All right, good day, Blab. It's your girl Hotep Sophia, also known as Dominique Rebel, and we are here to look at the Blab timeline and check out the posts and see what's happening. Because if you're not pursuing, perusing the Blab timeline, then you really have no idea what's going on. So, as usual, we'll start run through the pin post real quick. Oh, I don't like that too much. So I'll try to keep my iPad out the screen. All right. Um, of course, if you want to find out what's going on, you can go to hotepsophia.com and it has my link to Blab. And also, you could just look me up on Blab, either Hotep Sophia, all one word, or Dominique Rebel. My handle is Dominique Rebel, but it's also Hotep Sophia. So both of them come up. So, all right, man, it's a lot of stuff going on. I highly suggest that you go to BitChute and check out Cliff High, Cliff, CLIF underscore high. He is talking about the timing on some of the stuff that's going on and the bond market. If you've been following the Evergrande situation, maybe you don't know that it's completely defaulted because no one in the media is talking about it. But Cliff High talks about it a little bit. So I highly suggest going and checking him out. Um, got a lot of memes. It's just, look at this. Look at this. So you know who is in the little black book and the little trial that's going on, but I saw other names that's not really. I can't talk about this at all, but you can see the meme on my page. Look at this. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Looters steal 5 million of products from 15 cannabis shops in San Francisco Bay Area in a single month. That's a lot of money, and because they have that no bail whatever thing, they're just getting right on out. That is fantastic amount of money. Yeah, they don't care about you. Just keep this in mind. Although my kids don't go to public school, so I don't know. Somebody points out the number one benefit of owning a small business, stuff like this doesn't affect you. No terrible bosses, no government overreach. You just do what's best for your business. I hope at the very least this will create some new small businesses from people quitting. Yes, so I am going to start doing a show really soon about building your own small business, starting with what you have, the skills you have. That's sort of been my literal research interest for ever, really, but specifically starting with what you have, not going out and finding some new stuff, but really taking the skills that you have and making them marketable, and understanding how to price things and whatnot. And so that's definitely going to be coming soon. I can't remember what the name of that show is called. I can't remember, but it is coming soon for sure. Because I can definitely see a need for it now. And you'll see that in some of the posts coming up. But NYC expands jab mandate to all private sector workers, required proof of 2 doses from kids aged 5 to 11 when indoor dining. Who wrote this tweet? Y'all, that is the worst written tweet I've ever seen. I don't know what trying to. What? This is why. Oh, what a mess. Okay. Poorly written tweet. Yeah, we can talk about this too. I see that Potato Head is um complaining about the right echo chamber. Um that's really weird. Um I think for a number of reasons, because forever it's been a left echo chamber where every thought these people have is confirmed by what they listen to. And so to now be concerned with a right echo chamber is basically like they're realizing they don't have control over the narrative anymore. And so they're really, I guess, ramping up some of this nonsense to try and get people to come back. Like, I don't even know what the point of this is. Like, you're complaining about it, but who's going to go back to watching the MSM if they know they're going to lie to you about everything? Like, I noticed that after months and months, if you've seen any of my step class videos, I literally wear my Gab shirt every time I'm around large groups of black people, all the time. And because I want black people to come to Gab. That's why I have the group Black Blab, just so that when people get on there, they know where to find like a group where black people are going to be participating. Not some of the other black groups, people aren't really like posting every day, but me, I post every day, all day, really. Whenever I see something relevant, I post it into the group. So, I'm starting to see like, some black people sort of switch over. So once the black people come to Gab, and I have been saying this from the very beginning, it is over because there are a lot of people who will be annoyed at the fact that they can't see porn. Like, there'll be a lot of people that are like that. But on the flip side, there will be a lot of people who aren't into all of that, who just want to have a conversation, and there's nowhere to converse with anybody. So you will still continue to see the influx of the black people, because remember, nobody remembers. I remember last year, before Corona, there was getting ready to be World War III, right? And then black people started making fun of it, and it was over. They couldn't do it. They literally could not do World War III because black people started making fun of it. And they made fun of it so bad on Twitter. I mean, the memes were outrageous. The comments, the takes were crazy. They made fun of it so bad they had to stop their plan. It didn't work because black people were like, oh, this is World War III. This is going to be the end. Da, 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 da. Just laughing and joking about it, like all kinds of jokes. They couldn't handle it. So they had to literally stop their whole plan. So all I'm saying is, to people who are, anti-black or whatever, I don't really care about that. The more black people is on Gab, the better, because we bring all the creativity, not all of it, a good amount of it. And like, this is why you see like some of the creators on TikTok and other places complaining, because what'll happen is large accounts will take their ideas from small accounts and they won't give them any credit, so then they just take their work. They literally steal their work. And this is a problem in the black community because there are a lot of creative people and there are a lot of uncreative, people who take the ideas from the creative people. And this is not white people specifically. This is these ones. So they take the ideas from the creative people and then they give them no credit. They give them no nothing. For example, this happened in hip hop all day, every day. If they could have made hip hop without black people, they would have absolutely just taken hip hop and completely made it without black people. And they basically did when they brought in Drake, who destroyed hip hop. I don't care what anybody says. I will argue this to my dying breath. Drake destroyed hip hop, totally ended it. So, therefore, the more black people, especially creative ones, that we get on the Blab, the better. And they're all welcome at Black Blab. You just look it up. It's one of the groups, and you'll kind of see people I repost and how to get started and all that. So, anyway, but yes, why are you creating an echo chamber? This is why. Some of this stuff is stupid. Okay, look at this. We went to do pictures with Santa on Saturday. It was cookies with Santa. And this is my first year in an area that's not predominantly black. So it was a white Santa. And I don't remember the last time I saw a white Santa. So it was very, very interesting. My kids weren't scared. One of my sister's kids was, but mostly the kids weren't scared, and it was a really good experience. And guess what they're not doing at home? Nothing with Santa, because in Maryland, everything is still shut down. They'd probably be doing it like this. Who wants to do this? This is insanity. Pure insanity. The Bank of Zimbabwe chief executive, I'm not saying that, will step down from his post with effect from December 31st after 7 years. I don't know. Oh, the announcement came as somewhat of a shock. Seems to be trending. I don't know what that's about. Anybody got any ideas? More than welcome to comment. I have no idea what that's about. I saw this post. I thought it was really cool. Um, but I won't talk about it in case this gets somewhere where people aren't allowed to talk about stuff. I saw. Wait, freeze. Listen, I don't see the problem. I'm sure people on Twitter are melting down, but I don't see the problem. Look at this. Okay, look, here's another one. Sony vice president fired after getting caught soliciting minor for sex. Well, some people, some black people, have been saying for a long time that this music industry people prey on children. And that's why they bring these people in so young and they have these child e-celebs and all this stuff. And some people have been saying this and screaming this from the mountaintops about how awful this is. And now the chickens are starting to come home to the roost. So I hope the rest of them get exposed. You know, like that trial we can't talk about. Oh, this is my guy. Casimir, I have no idea what this is about, but something is going on in upstate New York. So if you're in that Hudson Valley area, Casimir is following all that stuff. He's reporting from the ground, and it is fabulous reporting. I don't know anything about it. Somebody else who's running for governor, is on Blab. Okay. More, where are the Democrats? I mean, if you're running, you got a whole segment of, numbers on Blab are through the roof. Where are you? Don't you think you should get on Blab and have a conversation with the potential constituents? Anyway, every Democrat in the Senate voted in favor of firing unvaccinated workers. Donnie to Don, great follow. Remember this when they ask for your vote in the next election. Every one of the Democrats, wow, that's your voters, dog. Okay. Look at this. David insider trading Purdue, and Trump is already like semi-endorsed him. Like, David Purdue is a mess, a total mess. I won't say this out loud either, but I know y'all saw that video. Here we go. Something I said. Staying to fight is the most insane nonsense spewing out from the right. Literally, when the British came in and tried to govern the soon-to-be Americans, they fought and left if necessary to protect their families. These so-called patriots will now stay in a place that will literally have them murdered to prove a point about how patriotic they are. I'm 10th generation Marylander, which I am, and I left because I refuse to be murdered by the state. People need to focus on their family's quality of life first. Like, literally, I remember having this argument with people on Twitter, and it's one of the main reasons why I left Twitter and, permanently made my home on Blab, because I just feel like this whole idea of staying and defending territory in staying and defending your ground in enemy territory is stupid. This is what got us into all of the wars. This is what ginned up the sentiment for every single war we've been in the last century. Like, every single war. Like, when are people going to realize that sometimes there's such a thing as a strategic retreat? You strategically retreat from a situation in which you cannot control any of the parameters. Then you step back and create parameters you can't actually control. So staying to fight in a place where they've set it up and you're guaranteed to lose is stupid. It is not smart. You're not helping anybody. You're not teaching your kids anything except take the torture as long as possible for the pride of your family. That is nuts. No, go somewhere where you can flourish, so you can build up, so you can go back and buy the block. Like, this is one thing that the rap community, I think, has finally come around and got right. You make your money and you move out. You do whatever it takes to get out of your bad situation and make your money. And once you get out of your bad situation and you make your money, you can go back with influence and buy up buy your block back. That's the better strategy. Like, you can sell your house, or you can rent it out or whatever, but get out of it. Get from under the like, I hated Maryland. One of the reasons why is the name. Like, I am not a subject of Queen Mary, the British monarchy, or anybody else. And being in Maryland, literally Maryland, means that I am a subject of the Queen. I don't like that. I didn't like that. So I said I have to go somewhere where I'm not going to be a British subject. So I specifically looked for a place that was outside of the original 13 colonies. Specifically. I mean, it could have went to North Carolina or South Carolina, but I wanted to be away from the original 13 colonies. I feel like Britain will never accept the fact that those are not their territory. The rest of America, the rest of the people in America are not going to accept them, but the 13 colonies specifically were subjects of the monarchy. So I just want to be away from all of that infrastructure that the British had put in. I just want to be away from it. So I'm in Florida, where it's a lot different in a lot of different ways. And I hear that there's nepotism really bad and stuff like that here, but it's nothing like government nepotism. Nothing is like government nepotism. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So, or British monarchy nepotism, really. Anyway. Oh, this was in response to this from Amy Colbert. Another great follow. We are at war. I don't think people understand that, but you will. Amazing Polly, she's got this video. You know, I understand the idea, the concept of wanting to give up your smartphone, right? Because I do think that it does control you in ways that it shouldn't. But I also understand that you can use the enemy's tools against them. And so I think that there has to be somewhere in the middle where you're using the enemy's tools against them, but at the same time, you are not being controlled by them. So, like, stuff that I do with my phone, I don't use my phone at night. Like, once I go to sleep, I try not to, unless I'm just to check Gab to see what's happening. Wake up and look at it and, just be on my phone. Like, I try to not use as few native apps as possible that can track you. I try and use the websites. I have Brave on my phone, stuff like that. The most I can do to not be subliminally controlled. Now, I do have a game that I play, just one game that I play. And that's it. And that's because sometimes I just need to decompress, but I don't want to carry around a bunch of books. You know what I mean? Like, I would read or, crochet or something, but sometimes I just want to play a game. Like, just 2 or 3 minutes, play a game, lose all my lives, and then go back to whatever it is I'm doing. So I definitely understand her sentiment, but I suggest that we focus more on offense instead of defense. And this is a defensive posture, in my opinion. Elle has a great post here. I'm not going to read it because it's so long, but I do want to just point this out. She's talking about the Gateway Pundit and Jim Hoff, but he has done this numerous times to numerous people who were not leftists. Is this just sloppy reporting or something else? Listen, the Gateway Pundit is controlled opposition. I don't click. I try not to repost anything from these guys. I look for it from other sources. It doesn't matter if it's legitimate or not, but the story is going to come out somewhere else. I'll post it from there. So other sites that aren't spammy. But the Gateway Pundit, I mean, is just, you're taking your life in your hands. So here we go. Teen Salvage Entrepreneur. Like, there's so many different things you can do. You really just have to start looking for your options and stuff that's not going to take you out of the way of what you're already doing, but stuff that you can incorporate into your daily life. So that's what some things we're going to be going to. Look at this. They're not fat like us, so they're feds. Look at this. Everybody I don't like is a fed. Like, the right has adopted this position of everybody I don't like is a fed. Like, everybody who's not me sitting at home on my hind parts, waiting for the plan to be trusted, I guess, is like a Fed. And that's actually not true. Now, I personally think that all of these organizations are Feds, because why would you go to DC in March? There's nobody in DC. Nobody cares about DC. Only people going to DC are Feds. Like, literally, I would not go to DC to march on anything. Never, ever, ever again. There's way more work that needs to be done in the community. So I don't agree with this post specifically, but I do think that there is a problem on the right with labeling everyone who does things that you and your circle don't approve of as Feds, which it may be accurate, but at the same time, that doesn't mean stuff going on at the local level shouldn't be included in that broad generalization. But if you're stupid enough to go to DC and march for anything, you're stupid. Just do it in your local community. It'll be way more effective. Um, I'm going to read this. It's not that long. And it's really true. I mean, President Trump needs to swallow his pride and admit he was played by Pfizer and Fauci. He was not played. For God's sakes, they are coming after infants now with this toxic jab. Now is the time for Trump to show us that he is not a puppet of Zionism and Big Pharma. I voted for the man twice and went to D.C. 2 times to support him, but this is a major issue I have that is non-negotiable. At first, Trump seemed intelligent and had the integrity when he appointed RKJ to oversee the safety of the vaccines, but in general, after the $1 million donations in by Big Pharma, he dumped Kennedy, which is true. That says a lot about a man's character and intelligence in this very important area. God is more than capable of raising a humble Christian leader that actually studies the word and is not manipulated by Zionists surrounding him and tells the truth about being attacked by the UN, blah, 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 blah. And this person said, I don't agree with Alex Jones on some things, almost everything, but he is over the target on this issue. And I want to talk about that part. Why is Alex Jones over the target on this issue? Because we know he's an operative. We know he's controlled by somebody. And yet he is talking about Trump in this manner. So it makes me think the conclusion that I can only come to based on all of this is that they're going to try and make it seem like we have no better options than Hillary. Like, now is the point when everybody just says, okay, well, the best choice we have is Hillary, so let's just give her a go. Like, that's what it seems like. And you may think that I'm crazy, but I seen this woman on Rachel Maddow, like just a small clip, and of course they were protecting her and all of this. So if they take Joe out and, you know, the Kamala's illegal, she's unqualified, and there's no next in line, and they can't bring Trump back because he's corrupt in this area, then what do? You just have a new election and go with Hillary. Like, this is what the plan is. Like, this is literally the plan. I swear to you, I think this is the plan. So, that means that they're pulling their support for Trump. They're going to try and play this, you know, angle on him, and he's not helping himself. He ought to help himself. Let's put it that way. Here's another one. This guy makes millions off junk. Very important. Another Gabriel's Horn. Very, very important post. Start planning now and get a jump start on the skills you need in a new economy. Absolutely. But you already might have some of the skills, and we could just tweak those down and make those profitable, which is not hard. Astrology. Good follow anyway. I don't think I'm following though, but please join me in devoting some spare brain cells to finding a final solution to the grifter question. We must destroy Wendy, Nick, and all the nobody e-celebs who stuck the air out of the conversation, out of right-wing conversations, and money out of some conservative pockets. This is urgent and it's serious, and we have to end this now. This is correct, and I am thinking about how we do this, and I'm willing to support any suggestion that people come up with that makes sense, because Nick comes on the Blab and he's talking all reckless, and, you know, I want to defend Wendy because I understand that some of this stuff takes time and blah, 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 but at the same time, like, the promises should have been a little bit less, maybe. Like, even if you're really, really working on it, you should have made it just seem like it wasn't really going anywhere. I think people would have appreciated that a little bit more, even if you thought it was going somewhere. But I mean, there's no right way to do this thing, but the whole like continuing to raise money and all this stuff when nothing has happened in Arizona yet. That's a bad look, and people are tired of hearing the whole politicians are like this, excuse. I understand it because I lived in DC, so I understand it. Like, I get it, but at the same time, people are tired of it. They don't want to hear it. That's why MTG is on the chopping block on the right. Everybody's on the chopping block. Even DeSantis is on the chopping block on the right. We don't want any more excuses. We want things to be done right, and this stuff that you guys are doing, it may be right for 2016, but it is 2021, and people are tired, tired. They don't want to hear it. So you're gonna have to try better. No apologies, another great follow. Um, Violence finally reaches Beverly Hills. Well, duh. Okay, listen. Now, I'm not gonna talk about this. It's from Lives of TikTok. If you want to know the source, I just saw that on the screen. Okay, so I said LOL to this because it's clearly Bannon interviewing Epstein, right? But the person who posted it is Roger Stone. Okay, so you have one controlled opposition outing another controlled opposition about a third controlled opposition. Like, I don't even understand what the point of this is. Like, he's been going on and on for weeks about Roger Stone. Bannon is a Epstein guy, on and on and on and on and on. Okay, fine. You married a madam. Like, I would like you, some of these things about you, your history, and your wife to be explained. But we ain't talking about that. We're talking about Bannon. Who trusts Bannon? Why trust Bannon? Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, he's clearly controlled opposition. So the fact that, again, conservatives are still trusting any of these people that they see on TV, anywhere on TV, anywhere, instead of going out and looking for their own source data, going to places like Aim for Truth and getting the indictable evidence and doing the research for yourself and looking for yourself, they're still looking for the quick answer as opposed to going and doing the work. That's insane. It's just insane. So you got to get over it. Epstein was in everybody's pockets. There was nobody he didn't touch. So why is this all of a sudden a thing? Like, I don't understand it. This is a good meme. Yeah, Jack posted this. I find it very curious that who said it was a MAGA civil war? Like, I don't even understand where they came from. Nobody. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then the other one that's on eBay. I don't know. This thing is like, this is on T-Hip or T-Chip. Yeah, I don't know. This is very curious. This is very, very curious where this stuff comes from. Here you go. I don't believe violence is the answer. I know for a fact that it is the answer. Absolutely right. It's the answer. Nothing happens without the violence. This person, good post. I'm not exactly sure what the weeb thing means. It's kind of like an anime thing, I think. Like, I haven't quite figured that out. That I just started following some of these people, so I'm still a little bit like confused about what the terminology means. But I think it's some kind of anime thing. But this person makes an excellent point about libertarians being, I guess, porn addicts. Essentially, like they're determined to have their porn. Like, Gab doesn't allow porn. And that's one of the major things, and there's been a serious like attack of it recently with like more and more like worse and worse posts and stuff. So they're trying to figure out how to crack down on it, which I totally accept and understand. But at the same time, I don't understand why people have such a huge problem with this. Like, and this person points out that the millennials are, or maybe not this post, but another post, that the millennials' minds are really, really corrupted by thinking that this is okay. And one of my friends who's not a millennial, she's more like a Gen Xer. She was talking to this guy, and he is clearly like addicted to porn, like obviously by some of the stuff that he said. And I'm just kind of like, what is wrong with these people? Like, your time is better spent getting your body together, like Physique Friday people and the Golden One or whatever. Your life is better spent building yourself up and making yourself into the person you are on the inside, making that person come out on the outside, as opposed to just like watching porn. Like, you probably need to find something better to do with your time, just in general. Look at it. Look at these feds. Facts. This is exactly what they would have said. Exactly. I don't know what else to say. This seems pretty accurate to me. All in the plan. This is a good one. If I hated, I wouldn't be telling them how to obtain eternal life. I'd be telling them to carry on in sin and keep rejecting the true King, Jesus Christ. Big facts. Here's a good one. You gotta they finger JP Morgan, which is fine, but they need to get around to the City of London, the Madoff stuff. The cabal needs detailed shaming and constant circulating. This is fact. The one of the main winning strategies in this information war is that the information just keeps going round and round. They can't get away from it, because when one group of people has heard it, they talk about it, they tell another group and another group and another group. It just keeps going round and round and round until it's all exposed. And that's how this war is being won, and they're trying to cut that off with Twitter, but people weren't really using Twitter anyway. Kitty List, another great follow. If you do any activism besides waving American flags on the side of the road, you're the feds for some reason. See? Did someone mention the feds? The feds, the feds, the feds, the feds. See? Everybody's a fed. Everybody's not a fed. However, anybody doing anything in DC, you are fed. You would not step foot in DC if you didn't have to. Blab isn't about how many likes you get. It's about who likes it. That is true. I think that one of the biggest differences between Blab and Twitter is that it really doesn't matter how many people like your post. You want to know who likes it. Who are you influencing that's going to influence something else? Because we have a huge circle of influence. And if you have certain people following your stuff and retweeting your stuff, you definitely get exposure to yourself, but you really get exposure to your ideas and to the knowledge that you have, which is very important in what we have going on right now. 1776 Stonewall has a great story here about the Grange. I don't know what this is exactly. Something farm related. Oh look, I'm not going to tell you this. It's funny though. Okay, I want to do two more, and then we're going to close out the show for today. Make Nuremberg trials great again. Big facts. And it's the last one. Medina among the first in country to access a 10G network. Let me tell y'all something that you may know, you may not know. A lot of the symptoms of radiation poisoning are quite similar to the symptoms of the Rona, because of the breathing, the effect that the radiation has on your breathing. And what a lot of people don't know is that when they do these radiation tests, if it doesn't burn the skin, they don't count it as an effect. So they've been putting up these towers everywhere and laying these lines and all this stuff during warp speed, which had nothing to do with that anyway. But now you're in a position where you've got stuff going on and people are getting sick and they don't know why, and instead of actually solving the problem, they're just telling you it's X or Y or Z instead of telling you what the real problem is. So that's all I'll say, and I'll say it like that. But this idea of 10G, people don't even understand 2G. 1G is a mystery, and now you're going to go up to 10? I'm scratching my head on that one because I don't know what is wrong with people. But I highly suggest if you're anywhere near any of these towers that you move. This is another one of those I'm going to stay and fight. No, if they put up a tower in your backyard that has 5G on it, you should just get away from it. Like, it's too late once they put it up. This is the point. Like, once it's already up, once it's already going, it's too late. You can't stop it. So you just want to get away from it because it's going to affect your life and the life of your children and the life of your children's children. That will never happen because of what happened to your children. So you need to get your kids, your reproductive selves, and your reproductive years away from this stuff. That's why the problem with the porn is so bad. People didn't put two and two together. Wouldn't be a need for porn if people's reproductive organs work properly. And a lot of people's reproductive organs don't work properly because of the technology has destroyed it. Okay? Put two and two together. It's not hard. So, anyway, that's enough blabbing on about the blab today. I don't check on the boo-boo. So again, this is Good Day Blab, where we just get the headlines straight from the Blab timeline with a little bit of commentary from me, and some backstory-ish, and some wrapping up, and putting a nice, neat little bow on it. Psych reference. Anyway, so, of course, if you want to follow the show, we're on exclusively on Gab TV, which is tv.gab.com. And you just look me up at Dominique Rebel. You'll find me. And the post videos might go up somewhere else, but I doubt it because I like Blab. And I want to continue to support what we have going on here. If you want more information just about all the stuff that I have going on, go to hotepsophia.com. That links to my link tree and is a way to link to all of the stuff that's happening in the universe of the Hotep Sophia, which is a lot all the time. So, if you have anything you want to talk about, make sure you at me on the Blab. I'll take a look at it, and we'll see if we can at least blab about it a little bit. It's your girl, Hotep Sophia, signing off. Peace, blessings, love, and light.